Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show. It's grey. It has been raining. I've got a jumper on and a scarf. And yesterday, what time did you get back yesterday?
Oh god, our flight was delayed. We
That?
landed about 10:35. So it was only drizzling there, but
Right.
yeah, the weather was just poor. It was poor. It was poor all day in
Well,
Glasgow as
let me tell you, yesterday afternoon, about 5-6 o'clock, the thunder, it was like we were going to have the heavens opening, the thunder alone.
Oh my lord. Right, who's frozen? Me or Cecile? Oh dear, I'm going to keep talking because it looks like Cecile might be frozen and she is in charge of the rains. So that might be a bit difficult. So let's just wait for her to come on. Let me just check. I don't know who's the one who was frozen. Okay, Cecile. Okay, right, we're going to wait for Cecile to come back. We do have a guest for you, but unfortunately, I'm not in charge of the rain, so I can't bring the guest on. And so, yes, I'll just, we could just have a chat a little bit. I can tell you that for those of you who watch the show regularly, who might not know, we, as in me personally, is a taekwondo practitioner. So we were all in Glasgow for the weekend, which was really good because I got to see real life Scottish culture up front. We had a wonderful opening ceremony, and the Scottish team came in an array of blue. They had Scottish dancing, they had bagpipes. It was really, really interesting to see live and up personal. So yes, that was that. We had representatives from over 20 countries attend, and we had one person who came from a Caribbean country, I think it's Saint Martin, who came all by himself. He didn't have any team members or anybody with him, so that was quite interesting as well. So with that being said, guys, I don't know what to do now. I'm going to wait here.
All right. I think I'm back. I can't hear you now. I can't hear a word you're saying. And I'm not on mute either.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. I can't hear Nico. Marky, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear Nico.
Right. Okay. So I can hear you, Mark, and you can hear me. Nico, we can't hear you. I don't know what's happened. This is called technology.
So
we need our IT. We need our maybe Maybe there's something to do with this. We need our IT person. Oh, no, I'm all gone again. Where's she gone now?
I don't know. She's just asked in the chat if we can hear each other, so I'm just replying.
Okay.
She's gone into darkness.
But we can hear each other.
Yeah.
Right, so Dee's saying that she can hear me and Nico, but she can't hear you, Mark.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I can hear Mark and I can't hear Nico. Are you going to go out and come back in?
Yeah.
Let's see if that works. If not, we'll have to abandon it and bring you back another time. But anyway, what I was saying before I rudely was taken away by the internet world, the thunder yesterday. Did you hear the thunder, Mark?
Yes. Yes. And as we were told when we were youngsters, it's God moving his furniture.
Yes, exactly.
Was you ever told that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And he was having a whole move around his room because that
I think he was.
That thunder was yeah, really was. But we didn't then get the rain after.
It was just like drizzle, wasn't
Fingers
it?
crossed. Come on.
Hello.
We can hear you, Mark.
I could hear you all the time. I couldn't hear Mark, but I could hear you. But I knew you couldn't hear me, and I was trying to think, I'm going.
Oh
my God! Anybody who watches this back is going to be totally confused.
Good old technology.
So we're having a nightmare, a little nightmare. It's only a little one. It's fine. It's not a problem. And we will carry on. And what was you rabbiting on about then when you was there on your own?
I was rabbiting on about the opening ceremony of the World Championship. So, Mark, what you may not know is I practice Taekwondo.
Wow.
And so we had our World Championships in Glasgow.
Is that
this weekend?
Brilliant.
So I was explaining about the fact that we had over 20 countries attend. We had people from Australia, from Canada, from America, from Ukraine. I mean, the people from Ukraine are actually based in the UK. If you don't know, you've been living under a rock, in the sense that we all know what's happening there. And Scotland. So Scotland were the host, so they had the biggest contingent. Oh my God. Honestly, it was absolutely amazing because I've never attended before. I've never been to Scotland before. Honestly, if you've never been to Scotland before, you've got to go.
Yeah.
And yes, and we did try the local culture. It was absolutely amazing. And I've never seen live bagpipes like that in Scotland, so that was really good fun. We had a march past. I was in the march past. We all marched past. That was funny.
Did you?
Yeah, it was really good. It was an amazing place. So yeah, it was really good.
Amazing.
So they did. They organized.
And what did you bring home?
So I was in Super XX, because we are not a spring chicken, and so yeah, I got bronze in my capacity. So that was really good.
That's great.
And don't be fooled by the age category, by those people. They have some really mean kicks. Oh my God!
Oh, so, well done.
So it was good fun. Yeah, thank you. And it was all the kids on Saturday, and those kids are brutal. If you ever get the opportunity to watch the kids fighting in the martial arts, I would absolutely recommend it because they really go for it. They're fearless.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
yeah.
Oh, you had a.
How do they? Is that? Do you think that's literally the teaching that makes them fearless? Because they don't. I think
it's a combination of things. It is a combination of things. So, obviously, you have the discipline that you all know that's associated with most martial arts. But kids, generally speaking, I just even watching them on the street, I just think you're not even scared. You know, so I was
No.
watching the kids the other day. They were literally climbing down the railings in a shopping centre. Where I'm thinking, one wrong foot and you're going to be over the edge. They didn't care.
Mm.
It,
Fearless.
As children.
yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. It's children, and I think also it's part of the. I use this word lightly. No one should come for me, but you know, like the primitive survival instincts. That's how you learn to, you know, how you become strong and learn to look after yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which has largely been removed from society now. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Just want to say a quick hello to Trisha, because she's actually watching as opposed to watching it
oh
on catch
wow,
up.
she's
So
live. Hi,
Trisha,
Trish.
hello. We need to get you on at some point during the school holidays. And Louise is also there. Hello, Louise. I
Hi,
was actually going to
Louise.
message you, really, Louise, because I hadn't seen anything for a couple of days, and then I realised you'd been away. But the post that you put up yesterday, yeah. So you know Louise Clark, Nikkei.
Of
You
course,
need
that's why I
to.
said hi, Louise.
You've been busy away. You need to have a look at her story from yesterday. It packs a punch.
Really?
It packs a punch, and it's about women and their lives being taken, etc., etc. You just need to go and watch it. It was something, yeah, Louise. That's something else. Honestly, that was really something else. And I've got a little idea about what you shared at the International Women's Day afternoon soiree. So I will be in touch. Anyway, we have got the lovely Mark Pedder. You've been on before, haven't you?
I have. I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe even longer.
Really?
Time goes so quick. Yeah, it was a while
Time
ago.
does go quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell everybody first a little bit about yourself, and what you do before you launch into this new project that you've got.
Yeah. So thank you for having me on. Yeah, my name's Mark Pedder. I'm a palliative nurse specialist. So I've been nursing the best part of nearly 30 years. So yeah, I've been in palliative care for the most part of it. So over 20 years working within palliative care or cancer specialism, working between the hospice, the Keach Hospice, spent some time at the hospital in chemotherapy and a cancer specialist nurse, worked in the university for a little while, and then came back in 2019 to Keach in a lecturer role, which was probably when I was last on. I was talking about the education and the promotion of that. And also since 2023, well, November 2023, I started a new service. So I'm running this new service now called the Inclusive Health Service.
Okay.
So my new title is Inclusive Health Palliative Nurse Specialist. It's a very long title, but it's a brand new service, brand new concept. Initially, we were given some funding to support with this. Luckily, the hospice has agreed to continue that funding, so it's now a permanent service.
Oh, good.
And the service is looking after the homeless community with palliative care needs. So basically, anyone in the homeless community that has conditions that they're not going to get better from, that need extra support. And it's a nurse-led service out in the community, what we call an outreach service. So yeah, I've been leading that, and I am the only person in the team, but we carry on and supporting lots of people that need our help.
Wow, that sounds fabulous.
I know. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. How do you find the people?
Yeah, I guess, well, for a long time, we were trying to increase inclusive care within our education delivery when I was working in the education team. very keen, as Elaine Tolliday, our Deputy Chief Exec, always forward thinking, always looking ahead. And there's lots of stuff around palliative care. There's big stigmas, isn't there, about the hospice, about
Yeah.
palliative care in general, but also there's lots of stigmas about different inequalities, different inequity areas across our, doorstep.
Mm.
And I guess one of the main things that came about was homelessness is a big problem in Luton alone. Luton was second to London,
Wow.
with the biggest amount of homeless. Um,
No way.
yeah, so it was,
Really?
yeah, it was 1 in 64 people are homeless in Luton. That is now 1 in 57.
Oh my
So
Lord.
when we say
Wow.
homeless, we include people with no permanent residence. So that doesn't just mean people that are rough sleeping, it means people that are in temporary accommodation. They might be in hostels, hotels, they might be, just floating around, not in permanent residence. So
Sofa
I'm,
surfing.
yeah, yeah. And of course, that's not a true reading, because obviously there's a lot of hidden homelessness.
Yes.
That's only the people that we know. And people that we do know are brought to us through the Homeless Partnership. We're very lucky in Luton and Bedford. We've got a Homeless Partnership, which is made up of lots of people doing great work across the homeless charities, including people you may know from Signposts, Noah, Key Stage Housing, Azealia, Mary Seacole House, for example. And they all are formed as part of that partnership. Just because of this service, we are part of that homeless partnership as well. And it's a great way of keeping the passion alive for these people. And there's a lot of great support. So I guess that, to answer your question, long way, Nikki, I guess that's where the majority of our referrals come from,
Mm.
within the homeless charities, but also from other health professionals, either in hospital, from GP practices, that kind of thing. Yeah. So
Wow.
several areas.
And okay, so as you were saying that, I'm thinking to myself, I know we have a large, number of people who are homeless through various different situations, but at no point has that ever entered my head that they would need any kind of health support
Mm,
around things like cancer. I know that they may need other forms of health support with their everyday stuff, but that has never kind of gone into my head. Never
mm.
thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
I
guess,
can't. Yeah,
yeah, and there's lots of incurable conditions other than cancer. Look, I support lots of people with severe lung infections and diseases such as
yeah.
COPD, other respiratory illnesses, things, kidney and liver conditions, and other areas. They're the more common ones that we often see. And if you're homeless, you're not necessarily going to seek the help in the same way. So you're not
No,
potentially going to recognize the symptoms that you have. You may put it down to just a simple cold, and it might need some more looking into. But I guess the other thing is, a lot of the homeless community are scared of the stigma that they're going to be attached to. And they might have had a lot of doors shut in the past, and that might prevent them seeking help. So this role is really about trying to be an advocate for them, as well as trying to be a link to other services. And I
wow.
can give you some examples if you want them, of what we've done to help support people, or continuing to.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So one example
Tell
is a
us.
chap. Yeah, one example is a chap who is actually from Ukraine, who's in this country, and we support people with no recourse to public funds, so people that don't necessarily have British citizenship. So would normally have to pay for additional costs. And of course, people in the homeless community wouldn't be able to do that. And this chap was pretty lost, is subject to a lot of trauma with a lot of his family trapped in a horrible, war zone. And this chap has had lung cancer previously, was having more difficulties with his other lung, but wasn't necessarily seeking help for it because he was afraid. Managed to get him reassociated with the cancer team at the hospital, and then managed to go with him to his appointment to the oncologist. And he's now getting regular checkups and treatments. So we do that kind of thing. There's another chap who suffers with alcoholism, for example, which is recognized as a long-term condition.
Okay.
And he has had a lot of trauma in his past. So I spent a lot of time talking with him, and he has lots of symptoms such as being sick quite often, and this is really troubling for him. You can imagine how exhausting that might be. And he wasn't getting checked up, and he got an appointment for about 8 months after, but I managed to get that brought forward and get some investigations, and we continue to support him. There are other people that just need to walk and talk. So another chap just needs to vent. So we have a walk. He lets off steam. We go and get a coffee, and then we come back and try and resolute what we're going to address between now and the next time we meet. So it's a very flexible service. And I guess it's very different to your traditional nurse in the clinic. You sit that side of the table, this side. It's not like that at all. It's about recognizing what's important to that person and really being there for them at the time that they need it. Yeah.
It just sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm kind of just in awe of.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Obviously, didn't even know that was out there.
Yeah.
It's brilliant that it's out there. How are you finding it then? Because obviously you're the only one that's doing this. So how are you finding it? Are you getting something from this as well?
Well, the biggest thing I'm getting is the reward that I'm able to help and support people that have been in need. And I guess that's been the overall thing as a palliative care nurse. It's a privilege to be there at a time of need. And it's a similar thing in homelessness. If you're able there to spend 5 minutes of your time can be worth its weight of gold to this person, because all of the people that we pass by that are homeless, for example, we pass in the street, and we don't do it maliciously. We do it because we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do to help them. There's only so many fivers or cups of coffee that you can give, but actually what they need is just some time, some compassion, and actually just sitting down with some of them, finding out how they've ended up here, what's most important to them. It can be really helpful. I guess I'm getting a lot out of it, seeing the service develop.
Yeah.
Because initially it was just for Luton. Now we're covering Bedford and Central Beds as well. So it has grown. It's a big service, and we're supporting many people. It's growing, and I'm excited to see what it will look like, in 6 months' time and a year's time, because it's very different to what it was a year ago, for example. Yeah.
So, Mark, honestly, I'm actually quite lost for words, but when this started up, how did you? I'm still curious about how it's making the connection between people who are suffering. I've made some notes there, but I'm just thinking, how did you get the first person that you helped in this service, for example, and then the next person?
I guess it's about getting out there. I never expected anybody to come to the hospice, because if I could sit here and wait for people to come, I'd still be waiting here and a half later. You have to go where the problem is, and you have to go where the distress is. So networking has been huge. There's been lots of networking within, within this role, and keeping established with the local homeless partnerships. I keep in regular contact with many of them, and I do drop-in clinics as well, just to see if anyone needs support, if they're struggling with anyone. And what's equivalent is there's no equivalent of this service in the curative world, if that makes sense. So you're almost being a signposter and a guide for those people as well. So yeah, I guess the first patients came up when I went, to the hostels, and when I described what the service is, they realised that some of their patients might value some support.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's how it came about, and it continues to do that. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
The same as Nikkei, I'm just lost for words. I'm not quite sure why, because it's. But I suppose it's because you're getting out there and you're helping, and you're interacting with the homeless people who actually need all of those things that you're there offering.
Yeah, and I guess we've got one person, one nurse who works in one of the main surgeries in Luton, and she works tirelessly, to try to support people, but she can't support everybody, all of the people that come through the door. She's one person, and of course, if you can just give something, then you're trying to connect everybody. So I do my best to support other people in their situations as well. It's about working together. One person can't move mountains, but together we can make some kind of impact and some difference. One of the other things go on, sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, one of the other things that I've developed is an educational series of events called the Inclusive Health Series. And what that's aimed at is different inequalities and different inequities within palliative care. And that's a session, they're just 1 hour online, and they're being held once a month. The only month that we've missed is August because of the holidays, but we focus on different needs each time. So we've had a session, for example, on homelessness. We've had a session on LGBTQ in palliative care. We've had a session on racialism and casteism in palliative care. We've got other sessions coming up in learning disability, palliative care in prisons, within poverty and deprivation, and mental health, for example. So each session focuses on different things and different areas, and I invite guest speakers to come along to talk about the different problems, and talk about what we don't talk about enough, and things highlight that actually there is more work to do. We're denting the surface, but we're moving in the right direction, because there's lots of inequalities across, as we know, we see it all the time across media, social media, when we talk to people. What we don't spend time in is that what is actually the problems, and why are we not connecting the way we should, and how can we try and change some of that. So it's going well. They've been well attended, and I'm happy to share that with you guys as well.
That would be nice.
So is that only for NHS workers, or is that?
No, it's open to anybody.
Can access that.
Yeah. They're all free. They're all delivered on Zoom. You can book up for the whole remainder of the series, or you can book them individually. Yeah.
Okay, so we need to find out how we can get, because they sound absolutely brilliant. Dee has said village. It takes a village.
It does. It does take a village.
It takes a village. You can't do all of that just on your own. It's about that connection with other people like going into the hostels and things like that. That's all about that village and pulling them where you can.
So true.
Wow.
Yeah, because you can only do so much, as we said, but together we can make an impact, and even just say, well, this area is a problem. Has anyone thought about that? But people are dying much younger than they should in homelessness, for example. If you think about the average age of a homeless person is 45, which is
Really?
just barbaric. This is an age that we used to die of in the 1900s as an average age, and yet here we are 120 plus years later, and people are dying on average at the age of 45. 43 for a woman, 47 for a man, 45 on average, and that hasn't changed in the last 14 years.
So
and
that's
that's
not even
because
getting any better.
no, it hasn't in the last 14 years. And what we've actually seen is an increase of homelessness, increase of poverty and deprivation, because, for several reasons, people fall into different disrepair, through trauma, through lifestyle, or, through, surprises that happen in their life, and they turn a certain corner. It's it's everywhere, and I guess my job isn't here to depress people, but it's here to highlight that it is a concern, and we need to talk. The only way to address it is to talk about it more. Yeah.
It's interesting because I saw something on lovely Facebook yesterday. There was a picture of a girl, must have been about 8 or 9, and it's at the turn of the century, 1901, 1902, something like that. And they were talking about that the poverty and no shoes and stuff like this. And I kind of looked at it and thought, well, we got kids like that. Yes, they might have a pair of shoes, but we have children that are living in poverty. And you're saying, about the average age of them passing away takes us back to the turn of the century again. So, we've got all of this wealth and technology and everything, but yet people are still living in poverty or dying because of that, or whatever else is going on. It's just a mind blower, really, isn't it? It's just
Mark, can I
you
ask
haven't come on to depress people, but you've come on to share reality.
Yeah, I guess it's
And
just
that's what we've been
highlighting
doing, is
what's on
sharing
our
reality.
doorstep. The fact that 1 in 57 in our community in Luton alone are in homelessness or in some kind of, deprivation. And so
can I
we
ask you,
can't.
Mark, with that, in exact relation to that and to what Cecile was saying, because like I said, you said you've written 1 in 57 people are homeless. That's increased from 1 in 64 the year before. And so on average, when you were talking about the last 14 years, do you think this is cyclical in the sense that obviously 14 years ago, I think everything was, I don't know that homelessness was less 14, 15 years ago. I feel it was, because I feel that everybody was happier, there was more abundance, all these terrible things that have created the conditions we've got now, people were not aware of them or hadn't happened. Do you think that it's cyclical and is due to get better?
Well, I think, it seems to have got worse, hasn't it, over recent years? And you'd like to be hopeful to say it couldn't get any worse. We can only get better. What we've seen is a pattern. Homelessness has always been there since the beginning of time. In some years, it's been more hidden than others. I guess it has been more of a problem in certain areas, but I think when you look at research, it does show that homelessness has been on a steady incline since 2011, 2012, particularly, in our country. And I guess what we've seen is that there is more and more people that are needing housing. It's a massive problem that people just can't get housing that they need, which is why people end up in hotels, bed and breakfasts, and hostels. The forever demand trying to support people in this situation. You know, the housing team and the council work tirelessly. They do an amazing job, and often it's a thankless task because they're
Yeah.
there trying to support and listen to all of this distress. Yeah, so I guess it's always been there. I'd like to hope it would get better. Um, you know, there's been some dents of highlights. What is more noticeable since starting this service, there has been potted areas in the country that are concentrating on the homeless care needs of the palliative community. So that's great. Some of those are projects, which means it's only short term. Some are more permanent than others, but it's great to connect with those other people. I recently wrote an article in a journal and have been contacted with a few people that want to talk more about it, and that's great because that's what you want to do, is highlight it, and hopefully it's
Yeah.
echoed across the country then, which is great.
Okay, so a question then. Have you, as in the role that you have and the work that you are doing in conjunction with other areas as well, is there enough funding there for you to do that? Or have you got to
Well,
go and find
I,
some from somewhere?
I guess the overall, this role has been made permanent by the hospice, so that's a real blessing, and it's great to have that security. But what we can't move away from is the hospice in itself is a charity.
Yeah.
So it's always needing funds. So on average, we need over £7 million a year to keep running our services. 70% of that is from charity. We get 30% subsidence from government. Who knows if that will change down to 25 to 20%? You know, we hope not. But the fact is, you survive on that goodwill of the community that keeps the charity moving, people leaving legacies and continuously fundraising. And we're reliant on that in our community. So I guess the overall picture is we're continuously reliant on the goodwill of people to realize that charities are supporting the community in this way. You
Yeah.
know, the hospice creates a lot of services across our community, from people of neonatal age right up to 100 plus. And we're very
Yeah.
fortunate in our community that we have a hospice that caters for adult and children. There's only 13 hospices in the UK that support both adult and children's services. So it's fairly
13.
only 13. So it's fairly unique to have adult and children together. Um, so it's great to have that, and having the opportunity to raise concerns for people that are in need, such as homelessness. This is just one area of homelessness, one area of inclusivity that we should be focusing on. We've got compassionate friends, we've got compassionate communities, services looking at the South Asian community, for example, and we've got other services doing wonderful things such as well-being services, physio, OT. We have a gym here
Yeah.
that people can access, and we save a lot of money from the NHS because a lot of patients that would be going to the hospital come to the hospice for services such as blood transfusions and therapy sessions with our OT and physios, and other services that go out to people's homes. So I guess
Could
overall, it's just making people aware of the work that hospices do.
do you You know, when you mentioned you get 30% of the funding from government, is that from central government or from local government?
No, it's 70% charity, so it's 30% government funding.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the government funding, is it local government or central government?
It's central government. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious because
Okay.
where you were
It's
So
saying
local.
yeah,
so local like would be from the council, wouldn't it?
yeah, so it's in the
Yeah.
government works, and it's little various pockets, doesn't it? And then it supports a certain amount of that money. I don't quite know how it works, but a certain amount of that money is distributed across people that need support.
And I think that one of the biggest things is that, as you said, the hospice is supporting numerous individuals that would be in the local hospital.
Yeah.
You know, so one could argue that actually both central and local government should be putting some money in the pot.
Exactly. And I think that you should be able to claim some of that money that is separate from what they're giving you for your obviously your daily run to run, whatever they give you the money for. But like you said, if there are people who are coming to you that ordinarily should be with the NHS, then I think you should be able to claim that money back.
I guess the
is
kind
that
of
an ideal world?
That's an ideal world, isn't it? But what we do in the interim, what we do in the interim, I mean, for this service, for example, I keep a record of all my data of everybody I support and what interactions we have, in the hope that that will provide some evidence that we need continued support. And other services do the same. You know, the patients that come in for an inpatient stay, for example, and the patients that access other services to prove that, you know, this is needed in our community. Yeah.
Okay, so Dee has said, you know, we have people watching. People do watch. We're hitting the 1 million mark, I think. So people do watch. Share. Please share. Share. Just go on it when you're watching it and share it, because you don't know when you're going to need that support from the hospice and everything else that they're doing in there. And we will have your details, Mark, and we will share this to our platform as well. So if anybody out there wants any information, and so are you based at the hospice?
So I'm a remote service, but I have a office. I'm here at the hospice today, for example. I have a desk here, but I'm contactable by email, and I've also got a mobile phone that people can contact me as well. I've just put my details in the chat if that's helpful, and I've also put a link to the education events I was talking about.
In our chat or the?
Yes, it's on here.
One?
Oh, in the private chat.
It's here.
Oh, how do you then put that onto the other one?
I've screenshotted it so we can.
I don't know.
I've taken a screenshot, Cecile, so we can move it into the pages like normal.
Wonderful, wonderful. Because I am absolutely useless at IT. Great.
Yeah, people can contact me, no problem at all.
Okay, we've got a couple of things that we want to share, so you don't need to disappear. It's been great having you on. The fact that everything that you've shared has left Nikke and I speechless is very rare. That
especially at the same time. It's usually one or the other.
At the same time.
That's quite a feature there.
So it is.
I'll take
think
that.
It's just definitely. It's what you've shared and how it affects people. And it's about people that we don't necessarily have in the forefront of our mind. They're there. People who are homeless, people who are sofa surfing, people who are doing all of that. they're there, but they quite often are not in the forefront of our mind.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That is absolutely brilliant. And as you know, we'll share it all on our stuff, all on our pages. If we get anything, anybody wants any info, we'll send that on to you as well. We'll have you back in because we'll need some updates. We'll need to know if these figures are changing in any way. And you need to be doing a conference of something or something like that and get out there with your other colleagues in other areas.
Yeah, that's in our plans. We hope to try and organise something for next spring, a conference about inequalities and inequity in palliative care. So you heard it here first.
Yes,
but we'll be
we
in
heard
the
it
early
first.
planning of it.
Excellent, because it's needed. It's clearly needed.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Right, I've got a couple of things I just wanted to share. You are welcome every time. The Butte Film Festival is on the 26th, which is Saturday. It is Saturday, 26th of July, Butte Film Festival. We had Jasper on last week, and he was talking about the video that he's made. And we just want to remind everybody that it is on at the weekend. You can get tickets via the Hat Factory. Was there anything else with that, Nico? Was that
That's what I'm trying to think, because I think, was it this week that it was released on YouTube? The films were going to be released on YouTube, weren't they? Because remember, we asked the question about if they're voting, how will they know what they're voting for? God, this phone. But no, that's the only thing that
Is Christy Snell for Film Festival, D? Dee just put on there Christy Snell, so maybe that's part of the film festival. Contact the Hat Factory and possibly Christy Snell and get down there, because we didn't even know this was on, and this is not the first year, it's been on for a few years, so get yourself down there. Because that looks really interesting, and there's and it's not just filmmakers from Luton, there's from other areas as well, so we obviously need to go and support the filmmakers that we have in our town, and also to support this film festival. Also 28th, which is next Monday, we have got our Embrace Luton Women's Wellness Group starting. It's going to be, this is going to be our first one, and it's from 6:30 to 8:30, and all the tickets have gone.
Did you remember to add my name, Cecile?
No, but I will. I will. It's fine, I'll add you. It's fine. The tickets are gone. We are overjoyed. That the spaces have all been taken up. But we will have another one then in September. And it's just going to be all about women and women's health. And, everything. Menopause, the whole spectrum. Anything that you want to come and talk about, any help you need, we're going to try. This is our first one, and it's going to be good. And we have got a speaker coming in who is the lovely Sandra Moore, who is obviously part of our team. And she's going to come in and she's going to be talking about gut health and how important it is in your daily life, and how changing that diet can make you feel a lot better. So that is on the 28th at the Irish Forum. So yeah, lots of different things coming up. Right, we're wrapping up, because although Nico's got the day off today, I am working. Mark is working. She's enjoying her day off. Yeah, we're taking it because we got to work. So we will be back next week, and we will see you then. Let us know if you're watching. Let us know if you're watching on Catch Up. And thank you to Louise and to Dee and Trisha. And I know that Tisha is also watching. Thank you very much. See you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
Bye now.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Have a good
Let's see
day.
if it ends.